Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I have to tell you, oh God, I'm so embarrassed. Democrats really should have stayed home last night. They really should have heeded my warning, done what I said, and just stayed home, not attended the joint address of Congress, the so-called kind of State of the Union, kind of not. Uh, After last night's fiasco, I am more convinced than ever that they just should have skipped it. They are stuck in a 1990s mentality of governance. That is just a fact. It is so clear. Their signs, their fans that they were holding up with their little, comments on them, just cringe. It was so pathetic. It really was. They completely allowed the Republicans to control the narrative. They could have taken control of the narrative. They could have taken control of the news cycle. They could have taken away Donald Trump's thunder and his news cycle and put all eyes on them if they had even just shown up and then got up and left in protest, or if they stood outside and refused to go in. Instead, it was a shit show. They allowed the Republicans to bully them. I don't know if you guys saw, there was a Democratic representative. She was holding a sign and she was holding it up behind Trump as he was coming in. And it was a protest sign. And I think it said something like, none of this is normal or this isn't normal. A Republican reached over, ripped it out of her hands, and then threw it up in the air. I'm sorry, but it's time to start throwing elbows. It's time to just stop being polite, okay? Democrats need to grow a pair of ovaries, as I keep saying. This is pathetic. And then the one Democrat who actually does stand up, Congressman Al Green of Texas, stands up, starts taking issue with Trump over the anticipated Medicare cuts that we all know are coming, and he gets ejected. So he gets ejected for doing the same thing that Marjorie Taylor Greene did to Biden. Actually, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert were screaming and shouting at President Biden, and nobody ejected them. Nobody did anything to them. This is such an uneven playing field. This is why I keep saying Democrats just are playing by the old rules. They should have thrown Marjorie Taylor Greene out. They should have thrown Lauren Boebert out. They should have done something. Instead, they sat there and they took it. And then when the shoe's on the other foot, no, we're going to eject him. We're going to eject Congressman Greene because he is being rude to the president. And not a single other Democrat left with him. That pisses me off. If I had been there, I would have gotten in between him and the guards and I would have said, "You're not taking him." And I would have called for my colleagues to make a human chain around him. And let that be the narrative. Let that be the narrative that we all got dragged out, that the Republican Party is filled of so many thugs and a mafia-like structure now, a Gestapo type of political base and authoritarian nature, that you can't even speak up anymore. Everybody should have walked out with him. When he got ejected, every single damn Democrat should have gotten up and left with him. And all Democrats did by showing up last night was to give the Republican Party talking points. And you see it in the coverage on cable news and on podcasts. Oh, they didn't stand, they didn't clap, they're so un-American, they didn't clap for all of these great things. Why give him that narrative and those talking points? And then you have ridiculous, weak-ass Democrats coming out today and complaining about what Congressman Green did. So I don't know if you guys saw this, but Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, I think it's pronounced, she said, quote, "I thought it was effective," meaning overall what they did last night, that holding up signs, I mean, holding up fans with signs written on them and having t-shirts with comments printed on them. She thought that was effective. She went on to say, quote, "I think it was helpful to express how they were feeling without disrupting the proceedings." So how they were feeling. In other words, Kirsten Gillibrand doesn't feel this way. She thinks it's business as usual in Washington. This is totally normal that we have a president who is thumbing his nose at the Constitution, who has created a fake government agency, who has brought in people who have not gone through background checks, who have not been approved by the Senate, who are not elected officials, and they are making decisions about government agencies, what will and won't be allowed to stand, and what payments will and will not be allowed to go out, which is 100% not even within Donald Trump's mandate. Not even under the law and the Constitution is Donald Trump allowed to do those things. Those are constitutionally mandated to be undertaken and approved or denied by Congress. And she thinks, I guess, well, yeah, okay, we'll just do it this way. And then she goes on to slam Congressman Green. She said, quote, "I didn't appreciate it, but I can understand why he felt so strongly. It's not the time or the place from my perspective. But again, I understand how he feels, understand a lot of people feel, or understand how a lot of people feel." Are you freaking kidding me? This is not the time or the place. When is the time or the place, Kirsten Gillibrand? When are you going to get off your ass and start acting like this is the third alarm fire? This is the break glass moment that it is. And then they asked her, this news outlet, "Oh, well, you know, what is your plan? What do you think should be done for the party to take back power?" Here's what she said, Miss Milquetoast. Quote, "It's all about organizing and building a blue wave, making sure our advocates and our allies are focused on explaining to the American people what's happening, explaining how these different cuts and changes are hurting communities, and then building coalitions to oppose Trump in the next election." Really? And how do you think that happens, Kirsten? How do you think you're going to build a blue wave? You don't do it by sitting on your ass and pretending that this is normal. You don't build a blue wave by rolling over and playing dead and hiding behind norms and, you know, oh, we have to have decorum. This isn't the right place. You are turning off the American people. You are doing the opposite of building a blue wave. Because people like me are not going to show up in the midterms with this kind of bullshit, with this kind of weak, limp-wristed approach to authoritarianism. Oh, well, you know, we have to have our allies talk about how, you know, he's hurting communities. How about you talk about how this is illegal? You can talk about that, how they're hurting people, and explain it is not just harming people. It is not legal. It is not allowed under our Constitution. These people think that if they just sit back, everybody's just going to magically show up at the voting booths in the midterms to vote for a bunch of freaking wimps. And then Senator Cory Booker, same thing, another wimp. When he was asked, you know, what do you think about what happened with Congressman Green and what he did and how he got thrown out? Here's his response. He said, I do feel that when you're in that chamber and the president of the United States is delivering a speech, there should be decorum in the chamber, respect for the office. So you're supposed to have respect for the office, but Donald Trump can give it a big middle finger? Donald Trump can treat the presidency as if it's just a way to make money, a marketing tool? There was a news report today that Donald Trump right now is, as a sitting president, is charging business leaders millions of dollars to meet with him. While he is president, are there no laws against this? And they're acting like, oh, well, we have to respect the chamber, have to respect the process, have to respect the presidency. This presidency, this guy, you have to have respect for the guy who was found liable of sexual assault. You have to have respect for the guy who was convicted of 34 felony counts. You have to have respect for the guy who stole our most top secret data and moved it around in boxes, had his employees move it around in boxes, allegedly, to hide it after he knew that it was wanted, that they wanted it back. Are you freaking kidding me right now? These people are sickeningly pathetic. The weakest, most just, I don't even know how to describe them. Like the biggest cowards on the freaking planet. They do not get it. This is what I was saying yesterday. They don't get it. They do not understand the moment that we're in. Even though they claimed, oh, a democracy and oh my God, and he's Trump 2.0, or he's, a Nazi, he's Hitler 2.0, and we have to safeguard democracy. And now they're just like, oh, we have to respect the chamber. We have to respect the presidency. Fuck these people. I'm so fed up. I'm so freaking done with people like this. And then in regard to Green as well, Cory Booker said, quote, I do not think anyone should heckle a president, interrupt their speech. Yeah. We're screwed, guys. We're screwed. If we are going to rely on these people to get our country back from this autocracy, from this oligarchy that has already taken hold, we're done. We're done. The one and only good thing to come out of last night is that Donald Trump is so freaking stupid that he screwed up. He screwed his own legal defense. So he admitted that Elon Musk is the head of DOGE. This is a problem because there are numerous lawsuits challenging the legitimacy and the constitutionality of DOGE and of Elon Musk's actions. Because, as I said, this is a fake agency. So what Musk is doing is illegal. He was not elected. He is not an official government agent or official government employee. And so this is a clear and just blatant violation of our Constitution, what he is doing. The whole agency, what they're undertaking, all the firings, the freezing of funds, everything. And Trump knows this. Trump and his administration know this is not legal. So he has had his attorneys going into court and falsely saying, oh, well, Elon Musk is not in charge. He isn't making these decisions. He's not the one in charge. And then the judge has been pressing them, well, who is in charge? And they haven't really had much of an answer. Actually, I want to share with you guys, I have obtained exclusive video, okay? Exclusive video you will not see anywhere else of the moment when the judge pressed Trump's attorneys for an answer about who is in charge. Take a look.
Name someone?
Yeah,
you want me to
one person
name
that it worked
someone?
out
You want me
for.
to, like, give you a name or
Yeah,
something?
I'd like a name.
Oh, God, the pressure of a name. Cinderfucking-rella.
Yeah. I had to add a little levity because the subject matter is so depressing. It's so heavy. But yeah, I mean, they may as well have said it was Cinderella. Because instead, they're claiming it's some random government employee, some woman named Amy Gleason, who's been on vacation, by the way, while all of this has been happening. So clearly, she's not in control. Amy was probably like, reading the paper on the beach. And she's like, what? I'm what? How am I involved? Like, so yeah. It's clearly not Amy Gleason who is in charge here. It is clearly Elon Musk, as Donald Trump pointed out when he had him stand up and had everybody give him a standing ovation and praise him and, had him wave to the crowd like a beauty pageant. So, yeah, I mean, this is a joke. Our Democratic, quote unquote, leaders are a freaking joke. They do not get the gravity of the moment. They do not understand what is at stake. That is very clear. Or they wouldn't be talking about respecting the chamber. It's freaking ridiculous. These people are pissing me off. I'm telling you, I feel like going postal. So anyway, yeah. The other good news, I will say this, is Bernie Sanders' reply. Alyssa Slotkin's reply was pretty pathetic as well. No fire, no real passion, in my opinion. She started off so boring, telling her story as if anybody cares to know her story, who she is. Like I said, nobody knows. So, skip it. We don't care to hear your story. It's like every time the camera was on Kamala and she started out, I grew up in a middle-class family and I knew what it was like. It was like, oh, okay, can we be unburdened by your past? Can we be unburdened by your story? I mean, I'm so sick of this crap. I'm so sick of the standard issue Democrats. I'm going to lose my mind. But yeah, Bernie's reply, which was not official. Of course, Democrats can't get out of their own way, so they did not invite him to do the response. They invited Alyssa Slotkin. And yeah, he remains one of the most popular politicians in the country. And this is why. And so he got way more views, like 10 to 1 of views that Alyssa Slotkin's response got. That's called a clue, Democratic Party. That is called a clue, Democratic leaders. Try and get one. Anyway, we're screwed. Okay, have a great day. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I will be back with you with I can speak with more great information today. So thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.